the hand-wringing and head-slapping from business on what is going on here. Every day another disaster.
Well, God forbid your saviour wasn't your saviour.
Mine or businesses?
It's the collective that have had their kicks over the past couple of years. Enjoy.
What are you saying, Paul? That
Well, I'm saying is that there is a deep frustration with people who in 2013 wanted to change the government, change the country, deal with debt, and seriously confront the issues of this nation. Now, Tony Abbott lost absolutely any ability to have that conversation. So there was a change to a person who could apparently have that conversation, but he has absolutely pissed his goodwill against the wall. He has wasted months and months and months on essentially fluffing his own ego and surrounding himself with people who will protect him against the supposed insurgency of the previous government. Malcolm Turnbull is the Prime Minister. Malcolm Turnbull will win the next election. But unless Malcolm Turnbull leads a government that actually does something, he won't be the Prime Minister for the 10 years that the Nikki Savas and all the rest of them have told him for years would happen by him simply breathing.
Or maybe he should take on the Treasury portfolio as well.
You don't think Scott Morrison's up to it, Janine?
Well, I don't think so far he's doing a great job. I think just because you really want a job to be number two doesn't necessarily make you good at it.
He's being nobbled. It's pretty obvious what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He wanted to do
And I think it's fair enough. Yeah, look, the government, in the Turnbull government, Scott Morrison has prepared the electorate, I think, for big things when it comes to structural reform of our tax system. And now we are 6 months into the Turnbull government. There's prepared the ground for big things. Now, you know, the GST's been ruled out. Negative gearing's going to be tinkering. The capital gains exemptions effectively ruled out for Malcolm Turnbull today. So it doesn't look like tax reform. Anything at this stage is looking very peaceful.
They need to get on the same page.
Quite as critical as Paul. We'll see where they land, but you're right.
It's none of this is easy. None of this is
around
easy.
The GST,
That's why
particularly
they get the big
to rule that out now, to start ruling out some of the others like capital gains tax as well.
They need to get a coherent message. They need to be on the same page.
David, can I also say this, David?
And then you have the idea of bracket creep as well, which Matthias Cormann just a couple of days ago talked about.
Voice.
Well, perhaps it's not so necessary because wage growth isn't quite up there.
That was confusing.
But can I just say though is that the reason I am frustrated, the reason I hit as hard as I have tonight, is because I believe, my personal view is that this government and this collection of people are the people who can actually do something. They've got the media on side, they've got the goodwill, and they've got the nous. But they need to understand that personal approval ratings will be impacted by decision making. Okay, but as we saw on Friday when Janine, you and I were at that lunch with John Key, now he doesn't have an upper house, he doesn't have state governments, but you have to make decisions, and at the end of a series of incremental decisions over 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, you get to be a reformer. You don't do it by fiddling with a voting system. You don't do it by passing yes-no questions about plebiscites and republics. There is serious stuff to be done, and I believe they have the ability to do it. I don't think they've got the balls to do it, though.
The key
That's
thing,
my point.
the key thing John Key said was no big bang reform. Just keep doing it.
This criticism too, I think, has to be shared amongst a number of our senior politicians, because it's been some years since we've done anything about structural reform of the budget. Yes, Tony Abbott tried in 2014 with the spending cuts. They didn't get through. So I mean, many people have to reflect on all of this, as well as tax reform. There's a lot of blame to go around,
but it's not a Turnbull Abbott thing.
But not all of them have that popularity. Not all of them have that popularity, and not all of them have the job now.